show. We talk about things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for another pick a sign video. Sooner or later, we're gonna run out of signs, aren't we? But don't worry, we will have more content coming your way. But I'm gonna start, for some reason I always start with 52 to 100, so we're gonna go there. And 52 was the year that my dad was born, and he passed in 2021, so I love that. Okay, universe, what do my viewers need to hear today? Number 83, thank you comes easily. Okay, so I actually remember the day that I wrote this because it was a specific moment in my life where I was going through a really, really hard time, and I kind of was in the void, and I was feeling so not grateful in my life. I was really focused on everything that wasn't working, and I was blaming other people, and I was feeling like everybody's taking my energy, and that's usually my ego's go-to is I blame, our external reality for why I'm suffering. When in reality, the universe is showing me these people that tend to feel like they're pulling on me, but it's because I'm sending out some sort of beacon to say, hey, you can. So those moments are always a lesson for all of you. If you don't like something in your life or your reality, the universe is bringing it to you to teach you to level up and to no longer attract that anymore. So once you do the inner work to discover that, and then maybe do some nervous system work to kind of pull it out of your nervous system, then you won't attract those people. They'll just kind of fall away. And you'll know when you're feeling that way when you're just drained and you're like, I can't do another minute of this, because you're so focused on what's wrong in your life that it's exhausting you. There's no joy, there's no excitement, there's no relaxation. You're literally struggling in every single minute, and you're focused on the struggle. So it kind of compounds the original struggle, and then you get burned out. So you have to take the higher perspective and say, wow, I can see now how I attracted this. Let me uncreate it. You're going to say, wow, universe, thank you so much for showing me what I've been creating, because I couldn't see it until you brought it to me. And now how can I uncreate it? And how can I be so grateful? And a manifestation is about to drop in when you have that shift, right? It's like you learned the lesson, you stopped the pattern. And a pattern that I used to have back in the day was when I was taking on more than I could chew. On a Sunday, say I get 5 inquiries of somebody asking for a coaching session or a reading, and I would say yes to all of them immediately because I wanted to save the world and I wanted to help everybody. But that's not my job. And I would do it out of like, oh, I got to respond to everybody right away. And that would burn me out. Now I look at the emails, I look at the inquiries, and I just say, okay, this is cool. I'll respond Monday morning when there's business hours, and I'll set up the appointments so they're spread out so I'm not burned out. Where before I was quickly answering them all on a Sunday when I'm not working, but technically I was working because I was responding, and I just had my energy dispersed everywhere. And then I was burned out. So I wasn't grateful. I wasn't thankful. But when I noticed this about myself, everything shifted. When I started to thank the universe for bringing all of those clients at once, and then I learned how to manage it. And then I learned my boundaries and learned how to manage my own energy and not feel like I have to save them today. That shifted something in me. And that week was my biggest earnings week. So it was so cool how the universe brought me that quick little test on a Sunday, the beginning of my week, to see how I would handle it. And I handled it so well. And I felt the shift. I didn't respond right away, but I had every intention of helping these people. But it wasn't out of, I have to or I need to, like I used to be. So where in your life are you, number one, not really grateful for everything that's happening? Number two, where are you focusing on the suffering? And then how can you have that shift into thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it becomes effortless and it becomes easy because you're thanking the universe for everything. Even if it's an uncomfortable situation or you're burned out, the universe is always conspiring to bring you what you need. So when you're experiencing an ick situation, you have to say, why did I create this? Why did I manifest this? Universe, what are you trying to tell me? And the minute you learn the lesson, that's when the manifestation drops in. Okay, so this is a really cool one because it's a unique sign that not a lot of people will talk about, but it's really just that inner shift where you change a pattern or you grow in some way or you level up and you're just like, you have a new awareness of you're not going to do your old routines. Okay, all right, let's do another one. We're gonna turn the page. Okay. Let's see, what do we need to hear today? Number 9, euphoric feeling. Okay, this is a really good one. It's this feeling that you just feel a surge out of nowhere. So sometimes I get this feeling around full moons. I get this surge where I'm like, I just want to dance in my apartment. I want to have so much fun, or I want to go out with friends. And it's like you want to utilize this good rush of energy, and it's euphoria. It feels like a high. It feels like you can't get enough. And when you experience it, it's a quick rise in your energy. And I always like to tell my clients not to go too high and not to go too low. We want to remain balanced, but the euphoria will still run through your chakra system and you can just observe it, right? You don't always have to search for the next cup of coffee to keep it going. You don't have to go and eat the candy to keep it going, because normally we're humans and we're never content with what we have. So when we feel this euphoria, we don't want it to end. So my advice is feel the euphoria, get excited, because this means that your energy body is leveling up. You're experiencing more light in your system, and that's what the euphoria is. You're just feeling so light and so good. So the universe, it's almost like the universe has really entered your body and it's preparing your vessel for something good. So you're going to observe it and say, ooh, I feel so good. I'm just going to take advantage of this and go sit in the sun, really ground down in nature and just sit with this feeling. Don't run away and go do a million things with it. Really sit with it and feel the pleasure of having it in your body, because there were so many days where you were filled with anxiety. So sit in the euphoria and observe it and say, this is cool. Something's coming. Let me go write this on my desk calendar. Okay, so this is the second sign that manifestation is coming, is when you feel that euphoria and you're not going to let it get too high and you're not going to crash afterwards. You're going to stay neutral, be the observer, and thank the universe for all that you have in that moment, because there were days where you suffered and today's the day where you're not. So why not appreciate it? So I like how these two go together. Okay, let's do another one. All right, last one. Oh, I went to number 1, heightened sensitivity. That was the very first sign I ever added on here. So heightened sensitivity means you might feel like a fragile butterfly. Maybe you are going through this spiritual awakening and you're very early on the journey, and maybe you're at a sporting event, or maybe you're at work or at a restaurant. You're just out in public, right? And all of a sudden you hear people speaking negatively, or you hear somebody bashing somebody else, or there's judgment or criticism, or there's just loud noises. And you're like, I don't understand this. Like a month ago, I could totally handle this. And right now, I can't. And that is because your vessel is opening up. You're starting to feel energy. You're starting to feel the dissonance of negativity, because you're pure light. Your soul is pure light, and your soul only wants to be in love. It only wants to be around love. So when you're around the opposite, and criticism, judgment, all of that is fear. So what's the opposite of love? It's fear. So your vessel is literally so sensitive and so triggered by all of this fear, because you're not a match to it anymore. Where before you were numb to it because you weren't fully awakened, you weren't in your soul. Well, now as you awaken, you become brighter and brighter, and the more you repel away from that fear. And I remember this early on in my journey. I was at my niece's soccer game and the parents were screaming at the refs, and there was just like negativity in the air. And I'm like, this is so sad. I'm like, we're sitting here watching these beautiful children run around and have fun and kick a little ball around and high five each other. And yet there's all this pressure, all this negativity. Like, what are we teaching our kids? We're making something that's meant to be joyful, not joyful anymore. So, and obviously there's certain games and other situations where it is joyful to go and people are great, but on that day it was very negative and I couldn't even sit there, and I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to upset my niece. So I literally moved all the way down to the end of the field, put AirPods in, and just listened to music so I didn't have to hear the noise. But my body was triggered by that. So if you're experiencing this, it's because you're becoming more open. You're opening your vessel, your chakra system up, and you're feeling everything. And we really, really have to take care of our vessel when we get to this point, which means we have to go home and cleanse after we were just around all that fear. We have to go home and take a bath, or maybe meditate, use Palo Santo, use sage, ask our guides, Archangel Michael, can you please cleanse all of this fear off of me? I don't want to take this to bed with me. And you just get used to really being diligent with your cleansing routines, because you don't want to go to bed with all that energy, and you want to strengthen your faith and trust in your guides and angels and in the universe that you will be protected and that you can trust yourself to cleanse yourself in those moments. And you don't need a healer. You don't need somebody else to do it for you. Okay, so you're building this spiritual resilience to be in any environment at any time, but you know a manifestation is coming when you're feeling this way because you're leveling up again. You're saying thank you for all that you have. You're appreciating everything. You're feeling that euphoria. And a lot of times you might feel that euphoria yesterday, and then the next day you're at that sporting event and you're like, oh my gosh, where was that good feeling at yesterday? Why am I feeling like this today? It's a roller coaster ride. You're literally up and down every single day. It's just part of the spiritual path. It's part of the awakening journey. And that's why videos like these really will help you, because they're going to let you know that you're normal. This is completely normal. And there's so much more light entering our planet right now that we have to understand that if our body is telling us to rest, we have to honor that. We have to literally lay down and not do anything, or say no to that party or that baby shower or that sporting event if you know that the energy is going to be intense and you're going through a phase. I just got a message for somebody out there that it's just a phase. You might be watching this going, Michelle, oh my God, am I going to be like this forever? No, it's just a phase of awakening. As you awaken, you become sensitive. It's like you just came out of the cocoon and you're this butterfly. You're learning how to use your wings. And that's why I was saying, when you get a cleansing routine, command your spaces, talk to your guides. You're going to get so good that you're going to be able to go places, come home, and you're going to like forget to cleanse. And you're going to be like, and you're going to feel good. And you're like, I don't need to be protected. I can protect myself. It's almost like you build up this bubble where you're not so sensitive anymore. And you did it yourself, so you can high five yourself. So I hope you enjoyed these 3 signs. Manifesting is so fun, and it is a roller coaster. And we have to remember that the ride is the best part. The destination is not the best part. The best part is going through the transformation of who we're becoming in the process, and then seeing the thing drop in, and we're like, I changed for that. I grew through that moment. I became more sensitive, which is my gift. And now I can be more empathetic and more compassionate to other people. And you might even attract narcissists during this process too, because you're such a beautiful light and they're drawn to that light. And then you learn to step into your power. And as soon as you do that, that's that shift in that energy in your reality. And that's when manifestations drop in, because you're learning the lessons your soul came here to learn. So don't resist the people in your reality that are giving you problems. Stand up to them. Okay? Don't shy away. Learn the lesson and say, you're not going to treat me this way anymore. Or pick and choose your battles. If they're not going to hear it and you're never going to see them again, just walk away. You're standing up for the inner child that couldn't stand up for him or herself. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. I am sending you guys so much love, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace out.